Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Pro League Season 5. It has been a big day over here at the studio. There's been some fabulous games, and now it's coming to a close. Harry, it is going to be the final map here between Astralis and HellRaisers. The first one was a close affair on the first half, but then a whitewash on the second. This is going to be the second map. It is Mirage. What do you think going into this one?
Well, I mean, you know, we saw Device, the beast, wake on up in the second half of that first map. On Mirage, I feel like, you know, he can be the player to shut down and isolate Deadfox, who is just masterful with the AWP on this map. He's definitely the player I would be keeping an eye on for HR. But, you know, I mean, if Device can just do the great job of cancelling him out, then that is a huge pressure relieved for the rest of the guys on Astralis. And at that point, you know, I think we could see them start to kind of ease into things a little bit more, look a little less stressed as they did in the first half, at least on Overpass. But yeah, I mean, you know, in terms of both teams' performances on this map, it's a good map for both of them. I mean, you know, we saw that it was actually one of the maps that they won up against FaZe, of course. It was a very, very close scoreline there. I mean, you know, like you say, when it went the distance and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, you know, both teams having a strong performance lately on this map. HR having a little bit more of a mixed affair as well with their performance up against, strangely enough, lower tier teams once again, losing a couple to teams, you know, kind of T2, T3. And then winning up against a whole bunch of Tier 1 teams such as Na'Vi and VP. So, yeah, I mean, mixed results across the board. I still think this is one that could go either way.
It is kind of a crazy one when you look back at things like that. It's a very mixed bag and quite inconsistent. That's why it is hard to pinpoint sort of where HellRaisers stands a lot of things, because they're different one week and then different the next. They do sort of flip-flop all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's hard to pinpoint how they actually stand as a unit, but I think they've been looking slightly more consistent. Obviously on Mirage as well, as we did touch on, Deadfox is going to be that main man with the AWP. He kind of is one of the most impactful players, especially towards that A bomb site. He can be a one-man machine there and just dominate. When you try and take control of that site on that, CT, on that T half, he can very easily slow that down or on a completely just stump out the push just off his AWP alone, which is very effective to see. Now, why we did sort of touch on how impactful that was going to be is because Device couldn't do anything. And then, as you said, now Device reawoken, he can kind of counter that now. So Deadfox might not be as much of a nuisance, but everyone else on HellRaisers also looked pretty good, apart from Zero into that second half.
And that's been a bit of an issue for them. He's normally someone who has these very you know, quite consistent performances. He is a little bit hit and miss ever since kind of joining. He's been someone who can, you know, stand out one game and look like this star player, and then you know, next game completely quiet, completely absent. So I hope we kind of see the reawakening from him, similar you know, to what we saw previously on Astralis with Device. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think if he comes back into it, then this is going to be a lot closer once again. It's almost like the in a sense, it was a 4-on-5 in favor of HellRaisers in the first half. The second half, it switched around and it became that, but the other way around. So HellRaisers having to compete with 4 because 0 just wasn't there. So it would be great just to see everyone performing. That'd be good. But, you know, hopefully we can get that treat, as I think the pistol round is now underway.
Going to be jumping our way into it. Let's see what HellRaisers can bring to the table here. They are going to be on that T side. Seems like heavy aggression situating themselves towards that A bomb site. They do have a little bit of utility play over. The smokes are going to bound their way in towards the site, try and block off the angles for the CTs. Now they burst their way in. They're going to be clearing all these angles, clear sandwich, now make their approach through. But look, they haven't cleared this one angle where Kirby is sitting, biding his time out for the moment to strike. They have no idea he's there until Bondic sniffs him out, takes him down. Angel, another frag going to go his way as well. They keep this pain train going. They try and take control of CT. Bondic will be the one to actually grab control of it, seizes the day, and just leaves it on ZipX and Device to try and take this back. And they are vastly outnumbered.
And ZipX as well isolated his players coming in from the aggression in towards CT. Going to quickly find himself at the center of attention. Will go down, and HellRaisers, they pick up the pistol. That's the start they'd like. Over on the T side, from this point on, they can try and convert their next 2 in order to take it 3-0. They will be buying up 1 UMP by the looks of things. Curious to see if Stigo does pick one up as well, seeing as he's a little bit more strapped for cash. There we go. 2 SMGs in play, but a lot of rifles on the cards. And I think that's them giving a lot of respect the way of Astralis. Don't want to risk you know, falling at the hands of the four-sport Astralis. And well, aggression in towards mid, order of the day. Device going to be the one to taste the full effect of that as Angel rally shots downwind. We can see the aggression coming out from short as the peak comes out from Dupree. He does good damage, but doesn't quite find the kill. Roasting in the fire and flames, but he's still alive and kicking. Things got a little bit hot and toasty, but he still finds the frag. Now falls on back into the safety of that B site as a 3-on-4 ensues.
Now then, let's see how this round will boil down at this point. Actual frag goes the way of Astralis, though. Zero gets completely domed there. Kirby in the back back line actually was able to find the kill onto him on that CZ. Scavenges himself a little UMP as well, an SMG that will complement him. But look at this, the choke point of Connector. Everyone is going to be bursting their way through it, trying to slip their way on towards the A-bomb site. Xyp9x is going to peak with this 5-7, a weapon that he can wield to a fairly high level, but he can't find the kills right now. dupreeh also goes down, exterminated there by Styko. Leaves them in this 3 versus 2. Not the best situation to be in, but they're going to try and make it work. Kirby getting very low though. He's taking more and more damage as time goes on.
Bomb is taken away from them. They don't have a defuse kit to play around with, and Xyp9x trying to make something happen. You can see Kirby's already fallen on back, just looking to hold on to the UMP and armor. Leaving Xyp9x here to try and wreak some havoc. Maybe have a couple of players go down to the bomb or grab an AK. That would be ideal. Bomb still ticking away. He's kept a couple of players nearby. Sticker goes in with the peek. Doesn't connect it, so he's still keeping these guys within earshot of the site. Now rearing his head from the top of the stairs, and deadfox does him the courtesy of removing it. Kirby saves himself the UMP. HellRaisers, they do pick up that second round as they convert the anti-eco, and they keep 3 players alive as well. The 3 rifle players, perhaps most crucially.
Fires coming back into effect here. You can see Astralis trying to decide what they want to go for, because obviously they will have their full buyout into the following round. Opting to just invest lightly. CZ over on device, and Kirby just sticking with that UMP that he had scavenged through. Now then, how are they actually going to play this one out? Slow and steady. Seems like they will try and converge towards mid though. They're pushing out, going for some information plays, but realise that HellRaisers are just situated towards top mid. They do have that range advantage, so it'd be foolish to try and continue the fight there where it does favour them so heavily. dupreeh trying to do a little bit of damage though, will sneakily peek out. Quite cheeky actually, as he just transfer damage on towards bondik, but is taken down as you'd expect.
HellRaisers pushing up over towards short now, looking actually like they're going to think twice. They barrel back over towards mid, trying to lapse in towards this A site instead, but Glaive does spot them on the rotate. 2 players still over towards B in the form of Kirby and Device. Aren't rotating off just yet, and that's because they're aware of the threat that is Zero in the backline up in apps. They want to try and get that UMP off of him if they can, and that'd be another weapon to save. Only a UMP, but still a little bit to absorb the cost of buying into the next round. Zero going to be able to find one. Kirby goes for the peek, and Device was meant to refrag, but he couldn't quite connect it. So actually, Zero picking up 3 frags. They're farming up a lot of money. That's $1,800 on the back of the UMP. You can see he's currently got 6,500 to his name, along with that Styko and bondik as well. So plenty of money over on the side of HR. Astralis do have enough to buy on down. Device going to have the AWP, but no armor behind him. Means he's doing this naked with a smoke in hand. They're going to be trying to make his way in towards mid.
Device towards top mid there. Just scoped in, seeing what he can actually find, but no one is going to peek into him, just holding his ground. But he was an absolute monster into the first map. Let's see if he will return to that form. Just go for a bit of a pre-fire, not going to connect on anyone just yet, but at least will make his presence known to the opposition. This might slow him down a little bit, as he could potentially go for a fast connector face. Instead, we'll just hold for the meantime. Zero, seeming like he could be walking into his crosshair there. You can see him edging forward. Will peek through. Device can take him down. Swift work has been done. Once again zoned out, though. This is allowing the team to get a lot of mid-control, but not when dupreeh's in a high angle like that. Peers down the eye in the sky. Takes down Styko.
Yeah, deadfox is still alive, but a little bit harrowed after watching his comrade die before him. Now pushing up through connector, looking for revenge, but it's Angel to go down next. bondik out from Palace. Does get one, making that job that little bit easier in towards this A site, but deadfox has been isolated in connector, just approached by all members of Astralis with the exception of Device, who's currently in towards CT. Bomb gets dropped, now they know exactly where it is. They swarm around it like moths to a flame, and it's all on bondik with 40 seconds left. Rerouting back over towards A ramp. Not looking like he's entirely done with this just yet, but I doubt we're going to see too much of a commitment. If he can find something off the bat, then we might see them try and go for this, but with Device locking down this angle, the second he peeks, he should be dealt with. Actually going to get caught just as he unscopes the timing, not going to allow it, but dupreeh is there luckily enough to stop that before bondik could get so much as his foot in the door and make any more of an opportunity out of that. And that's going to be Astralis to find their first round.
Astralis finally getting one on the board, a little notch there. Can they keep it going though? Obviously looking better in terms of economy as we work our way through into this following round. So you'd imagine they might actually be able to keep this going, but let's see. Nevertheless, deadfox back on the AWP as well. Is this where he will start to smite them, be the difference maker, and challenge towards mid as well? If they peek out fast, Device obviously will be able to make mincemeat out of them. Very clever. Look at that. Peeks into the window so he can block that mid smoke. They should now peek openly, assuming that mid window will be blocked, and he'll be able to find these very easy frags. Will be able to do so, just as we expected. Takes down Styko. Smart stuff from Device there.
And now going to smoke off himself and leave himself a bit of a one-way to peer through. Dead Fox not going to fall prey to this, isn't peeking out just yet. We're instead watching to see if Kirby gets aggressive out through connector, but he's just going to bypass him completely, walk through the smoke. Angel gets spotted and swiftly has his face pummeled by 7.62 rounds. As at 3-on-5 ensues, you can see Dead Fox falling on back with the bomb in towards T-Spawn now, looking at rerouting towards Apps, joining up with Zero as Bondic lurking over here towards Palace. Can't really find anything. Glaive and Device over in CT, a terrifying combination that he doesn't want to be peeking out into. The bomb rerouting background now through T-Spawn. Zero joining them as it looks like the 3 remaining HellRaisers players going to try and make something happen over on this A site.
Dead Fox moving into position here, going to set up that smoke that will go over with the rest of his teammates to try and make their play towards the bomb site that tidbit easier. Smoke goes down, will block off over towards jungle and connector. Molotov towards underneath as well, just in case anyone was situated there, but no one is going to be there. Device has been able to reposition on top of ticket box, peeks up, finds an easy kill on towards Dead Fox. That is a sick shot coming out. There's another as well. Device doing damage from that elevated angle. So hard for him to even see the opposition, but he was able to rip his way through them. They linked those rounds together clean as well. Nicely done. You can see HellRaisers debating what they actually want to do into this following round in terms of their cash. Looking like it is just going to be a light investment, get those pistols out and be done with it.
Yeah, Zero keeping a good bit of money stashed so they can get the AWP on Dead Fox. Now going to be pushing over towards mid, but Dupree's going to be going aggressive, backed up by Glaive as well to trade things out, and then you've got the AWP in window on Device, but it's Dupree, and it's all Dupree as he pushes on up, going to be able to find 2, looking for a 3rd, and down goes Zero. He wants to get 4, he's hungry for more, and Stako's going to be down at his door. It's all Dupree. Bondic going to find himself 1v5, and this round is well and truly over unless we see Bondic go huge on the back of this Deagle.
Yep, not much left in this round at all, as it has been completely shut down early by Dupree. He's going to be hunting as well. Look at this man as he is on his toes, hoping to find something to make their lives even easier at this point. But Kirby will spot out Bondic, does take him down, and there we have it. Astralis equalised the scoreline now at 3-3, but it was a quick one. So we jump our way back through into round 7 here, where they have equal cash to play with. HellRaisers can't get out the AKs. Unfortunately, no AWP is going to be on the prowl. Dead Fox is going to have to wait a little bit longer before he can get back his old faithful.
Bondic going to be throwing that window smoke. Let's see if it gets blocked again. This time it's going to be Kirby over towards mid, not in a position to block that smoke as 3 players all emerge, firing shots downrange, and Zipex next to fall. They also lose Device, so suddenly a complete change of pace as instantly this B site's been split in 2. Dupree just going to let them cross. They haven't checked. They don't know he's here. Kirby more than aware that Zero's pushed on up, but I mean, Dupree now finds himself over towards short. No one going to be making their way up from there, but he's just sneaking on by, and he's played this perfectly. They're not going to see this coming. Dead Fox doesn't check it. They're all just walking past him, and Dupree, this is an opportunity to really make a difference here. Going to be able to get 1, looking for a 2nd. Down goes Dead Fox as well, and it's all on Bondic. 1v3, and he's all the way over towards this A site on his lonesome.
You got to wonder how many times we're going to have to say that as well. Bondic left last alive once again, and a very unfavorable situation around that is nowhere near the realms of possibility for him at this point. It is going to be hard, but he'll try and make the best out of a bad situation. Makes his approach through in towards shot. Molotov goes out. This is going to give the game away a little bit here. They're going to be aware of what's going on. Smart play is it would have forced someone out of position if they were hiding there, but no one was hunkered down. Kirby can peek into him, completely aware of his position, and finds the frag now as well. Look at the economy on HellRaisers once again, looking awkward. This should be Astralis actually climbing within the region of 6 rounds at this point before they really have to worry about anything too bad.
Yeah, they'd be force buying down what they can, about $2,000, trying to make something happen on the back of these pistols. And well, early on we could see that aggression in Apps going to be completely shut down. Now they have to reroute in through lower. Devices watching mid, and Angel going to have his face removed. Now Sticker trying to peek on out, but Device watching the push in through lower has to be wary because Kirby, his teammate, does falter, will be going down. No trade in sight just yet as the equalizer is found, courtesy of HellRaisers. Bondic doing some damage with the Deeg over towards ramp as well. Chips away at the health of Glaive, who has to fall on back into the safety of that A site. taking this long angle duel in CT, just opting to play this very safely, doesn't want to get caught out being on 12 HP to these pistols. HellRaisers, though, they've since regrouped very quickly over towards B, waiting in the wings to charge on in to this B site.
It will be a play towards that site, but let's see if they can actually slip their way in, because look at the position of dupreeh. He's ready to try and dispatch them if he can do some damage here. Will tap away with the AK, finds one frag. It's actually going to be Styko. Team kills Dead Fox there. Zero can take down dupreeh as well, though. Dispatching the Danish men right now, but Zipnix is on the scene of the crime, doing work. Leaves it all on Bondik. A 1 versus 2. Deagle in hand. Can he find the frags? Does some damage, but Device proves too much of a nuisance. Will overpower him with the 5-7. That's a free K for Device. And the 5th round for Astralis, as we expected.
Yeah, since moving on to the rifles, Astralis, they've picked up every single one of them. HellRaisers need to show some sort of bastion of resistance in amongst what is a very bleak scenario. Glaive straight away ducking in through lowers, trying to go aggressive, a complete change of pace, and Kirby's here to trade things out. If he does go down, makes his presence known, but doesn't want to re-peek into this. Zero going to try and force the issue around the corner. Let's get fully flashed, courtesy of Angel. But now these players able to escape out through mid somehow, despite the aggression from HellRaisers over towards top mid. They do manage to survive for the time being. They've slowed down the early play from HellRaisers as well and gotten a lot of information, completely displaced the remaining members of HR. As you can see, this push just slowed down dramatically. The Vexer with the Molotov in towards top mid, going to force out Stika to potentially take this peak. Can't quite capitalize on it. The nade looking to do even more damage as he's just being chipped away at. Dead Fox is here with the AWP, thankfully, to try and restore some order for HR over in mid. But they just haven't been able to get control of this.
Angel gets that smoke down. dupreeh should be burnt out of position there. Actually, will have to reposition. You can see Device still holding towards Connect. He's been doing a great job of actually defending this into these previous rounds. This time, they can't actually get the opening frag. HellRaisers are now aware of his position, but they peek back into it, and Device, he's not going to miss the second time. Easy frag as he takes down Angel there. Is able to just swan away as well. Try and relink up with the rest of his teammates. Styko hoping to stop how much of a lead the Astralis have already picked up at this point. But Device, it's just easy for him. Sublime kills coming out as the rest of his teammates clear up the stragglers, and it's just left on 0. I mean, a 1 versus 4 situation. Once again, Astralis have just shut this down in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, Zero trying to hold on to what he can over towards top mid. The AK, the utility, worth its weight in gold into the next round. But that's another round for Astralis to take 6 consecutively. Money fast becoming not even an issue for the CT side as it does start to accrue. And Device has been on fire. I mean, he was someone who coming into this, we were saying was having a very bad performance. He's somehow woken up from that first half over on Overpass, and now he's just a complete beast, shutting down everything. dupreeh as well, someone has to keep an eye on, currently top of the board for Astralis, putting in work. Well, there is money for HellRaisers to buy on down into this. Curious to see if they decide, because they're still making their mind up whether or not to invest fully behind this, and it's a very weird buy. You see Angel only with the Deagle. Dead Fox doesn't have anything because he's saving for the AWP, and they're just trying to make something happen on the back of these AKs. I think they can still afford to buy up into the next round as well. Zero going for control of mid. The rest of his teammates over at A, looking like they're going to try and split on out.
Device there with the opening frag. Can he find anything else as Glaive and Kirby start to do some work? Glaive trying to keep it up as well. We'll find a second frag into the round, but it'll be Device to shut it down. You can see him furious there as he hammers away on the trigger. Very, very speedy stuff coming through Astralis. This is such a dominant performance on their city half of Mirage. It is looking cool, calm, and collective. They are just picking up all of these rounds so very easily. HellRaisers will reinvest into this one. The rebuys come back through. You have Dead Fox over on the AWP. The rest of his teammates just grabbing these rifles where they can. And let's see how this one is going to unfold. Will there be an early face towards mid? If there is, you'd imagine Device and Kirby will be able to deal with this very quickly.
As you said, Device and Kirby, they're posted up in mid, and they've been locking it down, unable to get anything out there. HellRaisers really stuck for ideas at this point. They keep going to it, but the outcome is always the same, and that is just complete decimation over in middle. This time there's 3 players here to try and mix things up a little bit. dupreeh in the ladder room, waiting in the wings to try and peek on out. Angel, got to watch this angle to get caught with the Molotov out. Does manage to get into the corner. We're in Delpan and then finds that frag. So actually down goes dupreeh. The trade doesn't come in from Device, so as they're now full on back, relegated in towards CT spawn over towards this A site, but the aggression from Zipex punished by Zero. The B site going to be opened up, and HellRaisers funneling down short to try and capitalize on exactly that. Device is rotating around. We'll be able to get to shop fast enough to potentially shut this play down, as now he peeks out over towards short. Knows they're there. Dead Fox misses the shot, but as does Device. He's got to try and hold on to the site, buy time for the rotate to come through because everyone else is so far away, and he will go down. And as will Astralis' hopes of clinging onto this round. Looks like Glaive and Kjaerbye just going to fall on back. Not enough time for them to rotate in and over towards B.
Yeah, Save is going to have to come out into this round. This will allow HellRaisers to at least get their 4th on the board. They are actually finding the frags as well. Angel can dispatch of Glaive, and Kjaerbye is trapped miles away from all the action. Luckily, he will be able to get away with this AK, you'd imagine, as he can just tuck in here and stay alive into the next one. But it all depends if Astralis can bounce back, because the thing is, sure, HellRaisers can get this first round on the board, but up to this point, they've had a lose bonus to work with, as they are losing these rounds quite consistently. Now they're going to get around here, but if they don't link it together, Astralis can very easily counter that, reset them, and leave them in an even worse situation economy-wise. That could mean Astralis could definitely start to dominate into those final few rounds of the half, as they haven't a lot of money to play with. This wasn't the worst feat for them. They can rebuy up across the board, everyone is going to be happy. Seems like HellRaisers aren't actually going to opt to go for that double AWP setup. They did have 2 AWPs in their possession, but they will just stick with a 1. Makes sense, as they have a lot more effective riflers than they do AWPers on that side, so Dead Fox will just keep the only AWP on the team. Device back towards mid once again, though, talking of AWPs. He has been such a nuisance. He has been doing constant work for the side of Astralis. Let's see if he can keep that up here.
Smoke thrown in towards the window. Going to be a bit of a one-way, allowing him just to peer on through. Now Kjaerbye will go down in connector. So an early man advantage secured here for HellRaisers. Another good chance for them to try and get some work done. Dead Fox peering into connector, waiting to see if Device takes this peek to try and find the equalizer. It's a bit of a desperation play. Hot flash going to come out, but it's Glade to take the peek, not Device. Not going to be peeking it with the AWP. Zipex. There's a Stico, and actually Angel going to go down as well very quickly. It's been flipped on its head. Astralis find themselves now in the driving seat. Zipex rotating back over towards B. He's been the anchor of this site, and this is where he's going to have to turn things up. It's a pivotal scenario for him. Only able to get 1 as Bondic trades it out. A 2-on-3 ensues as he makes his way towards the site. The Molotov will deny that bomb plant for the time being. Dead Fox hasn't even left apartments yet. Just waiting for Bondic to give the all clear now, making his way onto the site. Got to try and get the bomb down, but they've got plenty of time to play around with. Glaive's been able to bypass him completely, though, and he gets both the frags. Astralis going to be 4 rounds ahead as they pick themselves up an 8th, and that's nearly the reset onto HR's economy. I mean, a couple of players can buy, but really, the money's fairly strapped. Stico doesn't really have anything. Bondic's on 3 grand. It's an awkward situation yet again, and that's a common phrase we're using to describe their economy.
It's true, it's just so volatile. I mean, it hasn't really had a stable growth. It's been really all over the place. They've been reset left, right, and center, and it's just not complemented them at all. Now, though, the call has been made to go for what appears to just be a standard A play, and they have Nage to work with. You'd imagine this utility's going to go over. Then they just leap and bound their way in towards the bomb site, try and hit them with a fast aggression. Actually, it's just going to be a bit elaborate ruse, though. They leave 1 man there. It'll be Bondic, as per usual, to go for the late burst through apps, try and cause some damage on the A bomb site. And the rest of his teammates will work around, reposition, try and take mid control. Zero also gets the opener on towards Zipex at the B site. This hasn't been the worst round so far for the side of HellRaisers. Astralis, though, over at mid, can they actually find these frags? Device will peek out, takes a pot shot, but no one is going to get taken down.
HellRaisers haven't been able to get control of mid, though, and that's that smoke rains in. Device can be rendered useless, can't do anything from connector. It's all going to be on Glaive to watch this push from short. This is one of the first times we've really seen HR been able to utilize mid. It has been given up. Glaive going to go down as well. That means full control of middle now going to be going the way of HR. And last time we saw them get control, we saw them pick the round up. Let's see if this is a reoccurring theme. Dupree going to fall on B because he can't hold the short push and the push in through apps. Kjaerbye able to find a bit of a consolation as Angel does go down. But it's still a 2-on-4. Bomb's going to get planted. There's very little time for them to rotate on in. And even then, with the amount of time that HellRaisers have to get into after plants, they're just going to have to concede this round, fall away, and look to hold on to the AWP and the M4. That'll be HellRaisers to find themselves a 5th. And they are starting to regain ground, albeit slowly but surely.
It's true. They're actually starting to get themselves more of a manageable situation. It's getting better. It's just taken them a lot of time to actually get into this situation in the first place. 2 versus 4. Outnumbered 2-1. They do start to back off. They realize that it is too far gone. Just go for the save here. Into the next round, though. Will they be able to reset them once again? I mean, HellRaisers, we've seen them struggle quite heavily when it comes to stringing these rounds together. Could this be where they actually turn the tides, though, and do lock them down and really just keep themselves going for a little bit? Isn't going to be those short bursts where it's unsustained. They will actually try and keep some more consistency in the lineup. Double up setup comes out on the side of Astralis, though. Smart decision making. They want to switch it up. And the thing is, this is going to very easily counter HellRaisers as Dead Fox. He can't even afford 1 AWP, let alone the 2 that Astralis have.
Yeah, and, you know, we've hardly really seen him have the AWP in hand. I feel like that's something that maybe is reflected in this scoreline. I mean, someone who we were saying is such a beast with the AWP, albeit, you know, normally we kind of speak about the CT side. He still can have his performances over on the T side, and he's hardly had that weapon throughout this ordeal. Dupree going to be going aggressive. Doesn't find anything just yet. Going to continue to take the aggression, as Dead Fox chimes some shots through the plywood, now forcing him back as he tags him just a little bit. Dupree waiting through the smoke, can't connect anything. The rest of HellRaisers, however, are going to be over towards B for the most part. You can see that actually Bondic rejoining them here. So whenever he kind of rejoins up the rest of the team, you can usually bet that's going to be the site they go for. But the thing is, look at Glaive. He's gone so aggressive. He's in T-spawn. The information on this is monumental. Device is watching mid. You can pretty much afford to rotate Kirby off of this A site sheerly because of Glaive's positioning. And once he hears the footsteps in middle, it's going to be obvious what's going on. You can already see Device biding his time, waiting for the cross to come on out. We're going to be seeing Kirby rotate off very shortly, I imagine, as Device tries to put the hurt in through the smoke in mid. Zipnix, over towards short, does some damage on the back of that nade. Stiko does get Dupree in the meantime. He's going to find himself sandwiched between a rock and a hard place doing the damage, but will finally go down. Kirby late on the rotate, and from A still hasn't left it yet, in spite of all the information they got in the blink of an eye. It's all on Device, and he goes down. I feel like all the groundwork was there for Astralis to pick that one up. All because of that push from Glaive. They just didn't really do anything with the information they got.
It's true. This actually looks like it might shape up to be what we saw with the first half of the previous matchup as well. A 7-8 scoreline in favour of Astralis without 1 extra round. Let's see if that is going to be the case, though. Astralis, you never know. You can't really count them out in these sort of situations. They usually somehow find their way back into it, but they do have the disadvantage. Dead Fox is back on the AWP. They have the superior lineup in terms of their arsenal as well. And Angel leads by example. We'll get the opener. Takes down Glaive. Let's see what more they can actually achieve. He has taken a bit of a hard hit into the round, though. Locked down to just 13 HP fairly quickly. Zipex as well towards that B site, trying to do some damage. Nade rolls through. Look how low these players are, but they're still doing work right now. At least they do find 1 frag eventually. But still, they're outnumbered, and it's getting worse and worse by the second.
Yeah, Device, the last bastion of hope over here towards this A site, goes aggressively down ramp. Now Angel is just waiting, watching this angle. Now as he falls on back, it looks like Bondic going to be the one to take up his position. The bomb rotating over towards B. 3 players hightailing over there, and Bondic going to find Device. Down he goes. It's all on Zipex. He's pushing up towards short, but they have no information as to where HellRaisers are. They know where Bondic is, and that is it. That is where their knowledge begins and ends. Zipex over towards B. Hasn't heard so much as a footstep. Stiko's out on the site, pushing on in, and he will go down. That's a 7-8 scoreline secured, the same as in the first game, and that is going to be the first half over and done with. We'll be back with the last half of the night. Some explosive action after a very quick break.
Welcome back to ESL Pro League. We've just had a fabulous first half, a 7-8 scoreline, once again in favour of Astralis. The Danish Demolition is coming through, but are they going to close it out as dominantly as they did before? Or is this where HellRaisers might actually make it a tighter game?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I think based on what we've seen so far, it was a very slow start from HR. They had a you know, after picking up the pistol, they did very little. A lot went the way of Astralis. I think it took 6 consecutively before we finally saw HR find themselves any sort of, you know, resistance to what Astralis are bringing to the table. A defining moment for me was in round 7. The scoreline was 3-3. We were all tied up. Astralis has just taken 3 rifle rounds consecutively. And it was the moment where they pushed out in towards the B site. It's a 5-on-3, and Dupree, if you remember, was sitting on short, and he just let them all cross. And it was brilliant because Bondic, all the way over on A, it was basically 4 players on that B site. He lets them cross, finds 2 quick frags, and then everyone else just mops them up in a blaze of glory. And that was a round that should not have gone the way of Astralis, and it paved the success for them that they had. I feel like we would have seen a very different scoreline had HR picked that up, because the economy of Astralis would have then been down and out. If you remember, it was just a beast throughout the whole ordeal. So, yeah, no, I mean, that was the defining round, in my opinion, of what really shaped this first half the way it was. I think otherwise we could have seen HR finish that in the lead.
It's true. There was always potential for him to try and rebound into there, but Astralis just closed it down a little bit more dominantly and just took that earlier advantage. Now, the thing is obviously coming into the second half, though. The scary factor is now we see HellRaisers in their city half. We didn't see too much Dead Fox because it was that T half, as you said, but he did have a couple of rounds where he was able to don the AWP. I mean, economy didn't actually help them. Like, their economy was weak throughout a lot of it. So they couldn't really get the AWP out even if they wanted to. City half, though, that A site, he can be an absolute monster. If we can see him stepping up here, it'd be huge. I mean, the thing is, Device played phenomenally with that AWP. He was roaming around, doing his job very well. We saw him taking those fights towards mid, but he played it smart. He wasn't sticking around for too long. It was fast peaks from mid window and connector, adapting nicely. Hopefully we see some good style of CS coming out from Dead Fox, though, towards the A site. Usually he hears such an annoying boulder to try and get past. He just blocks up the site. So if that comes into effect there, could definitely affect how this matchup's going to go. Yeah,
but I mean, then the scary thing is, I think, you know, if there's too much resistance over on A, I just think we're going to see Astralis hit mid to no end and kind of take advantage of the fact that they don't have to put up with the AWPer there.
Yeah.
And then just utilize Device to crack open holes in the defense. But let's see anyway how this does pan out as the pistol round is going to be underway.
Dead Fox here, over by this A site early with the backup after the rest of his teammates, but all-out aggression at mid is on show from Astralis. Angel will peek into it though, does a lot of damage earlier, but Dead Fox and Psycho have also done an abundance of work. Angel trying to clean up the second man of the round, but unfortunately can't quite do it. Kirby will take him down. Leaves things with just Kirby and Dupree left in this 2 versus 3.
Bomb has been dropped, however, over towards ramp, but Dupree's tasked with trying to pick that back up. Now, Kirby is coming in on the long flank, but he's got to buy time, and he's got to worry because Bondic is hot on his heels, about to be coming in from behind as he is watching that angle. So is Zero, actually, as he pushes up in through connector. Dupree's going to hit the dust. Hit the deck, and now it's all on Dupree. All on Kirby, 1v3. As he makes his way up through short, trying to spot this out. Will be swapping out for the USP to try and take these longer range engagements. Bondic has a Molotov to play around as well. That can be put down on the bomb. Smoke for Zero, utility galore on the side of HR. Everything they would need in a pistol round. Kirby does have the element of surprise. They're pushing on out through jungle. Zero does not care for surprise as he takes his head clean off. That's an 8-8 scoreline. HellRaisers secure themselves the pistol.
Picked that one up very nicely as we work our way through now. HellRaisers, a lot on the line for them if they could try and keep this up, as obviously they do have these pharmacies and upgraded weapons now. There should be another round going their way. I mean, if they can get themselves into that 10-8 scoreline early, it'd be pretty good for them, because they can actually have enough economy to work with to get the AWP out over on Dead Fox. That's just going to be when they really start to show just how deadly they can be. But look at this play from Angel into the early game. Will peek his way up towards top mid. Styko actually finds the frag with a famous, but Angel does damage in the end. Will eliminate Glaive, and it leaves it on already just 3 of the stars left on Astralis.
Yeah, make that 2. As one of them gets snuffed out, Kirby will be going down. Zippix is out on the A site. A thorn in their side, just looking to make some trouble. 3 players here to try and deal with him and actually rotate off the B player. Bomb's going to go down for free as they commit to this A side defense for some reason. They didn't spot the bomb. Dupree now towards this B side with the Tech 9 going to be able to get one, and oh no, they all try to funnel through that same murder hole, and they quickly learn why it's called exactly that. Dupree now watching the angle, Tech 9 in hand, trying to mop this up, but they say no. 3 beats 1, and that is going to be HellRaisers to find themselves a 9th. But it is going to be costly. They lose Bondic and Angel in the process, and also that bomb did go down. So Astralis going to find themselves now with a little bit more money in their bank accounts. A little bit more to play around with.
HellRaisers keeping it going. 1 round away from getting themselves to that 10-8 scoreline that would actually set them up to have a fairly nice, well thought out city half. Obviously investing here once again because of the casualties they took. Let's see how they opt to play this one out. Angel, no utility really. Will invest slightly. Buys himself a flash and a smoke to play with. Dead Fox towards mid early. Will lob a nade out. Anyone on fast aggression towards top mid would have taken a lot of splash damage, but they did hold back for just enough time. Restricted themselves nicely. Device takes a fairly big hit early on though. Locked to sub 50 HP. dupreeh as well. The headshot comes out from 0. They're peeking 1 by 1 right now. They're not really complementing each other. And they're taking a lot of damage because of this.
Yeah, Bondic and Stico. These two players, wherever they are playing together over here towards A, saying that he does just kind of abandon Bondic as I bring it up, as he now stands alone on this A site. Angel peeking out in mid. They've got to try and deal with Kirby, and that's exactly what they do. He does get one parting gift on the Dead Fox, but that's going to be it. Zero's tagged down low over here towards B. Knows that Glaive is there, but Glaive not looking for a fight. Falls back. Bondic, meanwhile, drops the bomb over at A. The rotate coming in and in full effect. They should be able to catch Glaive out in mid. Down he goes, and it is all on Device. And he falls as well. 10-8. HellRaisers, they take the lead. They have a 2-round advantage, but this is where things are going to be heating up. Astralis on the rifles. We saw them have amazing success in that first half on the rifles. Let's see if they can replicate that, or if HR have picked up the pace.
Yeah, let's see how things are actually going to go into this one. Dead Fox, 4 frags on the board. I mean, that does kind of sell what we were talking about there as well. We didn't see too much of him on the T half. Is this where he's going to change things around? It's kind of like what we saw with Device on the first map. Dead Fox here is now back in his element. Mirage is an amazing map for him to be on. Towards mid as well with that AWP in hand. Not going to find anything just yet as he's completely zoned out. Smart utility usage being brought to the table by Astralis. But HellRaisers answering back very effectively as well. That Molotov will draw them out. They are trying to take this heavy mid control early though. You can see them most likely going to go for that late round play towards the A bomb site. It would seem that's what they're set up for. Dead Fox has control of connector. It's a very tight choke point. So if they try and overwhelm him, most likely he will get the opening frag on the board.
Kiabi does get boosted on up and then falls immediately at the first hurdle. He's going to go down. A man advantage secured here for HR as Angel has had to fall on back to watch the boost in a window, allowing players to sneak up into connector. dupreeh and Glaive trying to open this up. Bondic finds the first. Now you've got to worry about Zipix, who does deal with Dead Fox, but Bondic going to be on a second as he's just locking down this site. Finally, Device is able to guillotine him, but it's Stico in the back line. Hasn't even fired a shot yet until he pounces at the last second, finds both the necessary frags, and HellRaisers is going to be an 11-8 scoreline. 3 rounds the difference, and Astralis, no money in their bank accounts, meaning that they will just be buying down to $2,000 what they can. But this means that HellRaisers is looking primed to pick up a 12th.
It's true. This is actually a good situation for them to be in. They're getting very close to actually potentially closing out this match, which would be an insane feat if they do go 1-1 throughout this. Now then, let's see how this will unfold. Dead Fox once again towards that mid area. Peeking up towards top mid. Not really going to find too much as all the T's are ready to burst their way through. Overpower on that a bomb site. Kirby is there, peeking through connector though. We'll find, actually won't find anything as he gets taken out by Angel. The rest of his teammates will start to unfold because of the back of this though. He's made the noise, now they need to flood in and do the damage. Angel just keeping it going though. Bondic also going to find the headshot back towards Zipex. Everyone falls as we expected. A very easy cleanup going through. HellRaisers not taking a casualty there as well, which is nice because now they can actually build their economy a little bit. Difference maker is coming back into this. Device has the AWP. Not a great spawn to try and go for that early mid aggression though, so most likely this is going to be an A hit as they do have smokes to work with as well. He seems like he actually wants to take the play towards mid though. But no, yeah, he's going to go through Palace. If he peeks out here, could find a very effective opener towards the A side.
He's just sprinting on him with the AWP, trying to open something up, but instead they go aggressive. Dead Fox going to be coming up trumps in that duel, and down he goes, showing that he has still got the talent in him with the AWP on the CT side. Drops Device. And that's a man advantage taken early on here for HellRaisers. Looking like they want to further extend this lead on their CT side. Astralis, 4 players over here towards A2, making them up in through Palace. Bondic now actually leaves Palace, falls on back to scaffolding. They're going to be rotating players over towards this B side, very preemptively trying to catch Astralis off guard, but little do they know, they double bluff themselves. Stico having to rotate back around to compensate for this, but a lot of this is going to be on Bondic. He has to buy time. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Gets the first. They still haven't been able to deal with him. He's not going to be peeking on out. Steps up the crossfire with Stico. But he will be pushed back. Bondic goes down. Stico next to 4, but Dead Fox in CT chiming in with 1. Looking for a second. Does some damage. Nade goes out. It's looking to slam dunk. Zipnix and down he goes. It's all on dupreeh. 1v2. Over towards jungle. He finds Angel. But he's still got 0 and Dead Fox left to deal with.
Oh, dupreeh tiptoes up, but Dead Fox finds him. This is great as well. Dead Fox, the quad kill. As soon as he goes back to that A-bomb site, he's back in his element. This is why I love seeing him there. This is the thing. You know, we do see him go for those early faces towards mid. Wasn't really finding too much. But that smart initiative there. Peeks in towards Palace. Knows that they had money to play with now. Device goes for the fast AWP pick. Denied. Falls back towards Connector. Falls back towards CT. Just deletes everyone that peeks into him. Very, very well done there. Great finesse on display. Now back at mid. Let's see if he can try and keep up this aggression. No one is going to peek into him just yet. He is zoned out by the smoke. Just going to go for a pot shot, you'd imagine. Fires a little bit late though, unfortunately. He is able to stay alive. Angel as well, getting a huge amount of information right now as he peeks out and soaks up all of this noise.
And they get the crossfire set up in through Connector and short. You can see that actually Dead Fox is here as well, so they put 2 players in Connector to trade things out if necessary. Maybe at the mercy of this UMP as Device peeks in. Finds the first ticket to trade things out, but swiftly dealt by Kirby. Down goes Angel as well. The trade's going back and forth, but ultimately Astralis emerge victorious. 2-on-3. Bondic on this A site, but he's been such a problem, they just can't deal with him. He doesn't die. Yes, he does apparently, as Zipix quick to dispatch of him there. It's all on 0. They learn that Bondic is not immortal, and now it's all on 0. 1v2, wrapping in through CT. Gonna throw the flash over towards the murder hole there to give the illusion he's making his way in through jungle. It looks like it's worked, as that's where Zipix and Glaive are both giving a lot of attention right now. 0 round in the corner, both of them falling back over towards ramp. You can see the long rotate coming in from Zipix over towards short to cover this bomb plant. Now, this is something that we've seen work a lot for these teams. Zero's first got to deal with Glaive, though, and he's low HP. Round in the corner, he will go down, and that's Astralis to find themselves a first round here on their T side. 9-13, 4 rounds the difference, and HellRaisers still with plenty of money to buy up.
Yeah, they've got that cash flow going. Let's see what they can actually do with it into these following rounds. Now, the AWP still back out on Dead Fox, though. Going to be rearming themselves, recalibrating, and hoping they can try and lock this down. Early play coming out. Seems like a bit more of an aggressive play in towards Palace. Could be very effective into the late round here, actually, if they don't realize what's just gone on there.
Already the damage done. Glaive going to be injured, and actually Dupree falls as well over towards B. Dead Fox just repositioning with that AWP. They never know where he is. Smoke goes down for Connector. That's going to block Angel off, so they can cross out in towards mid. Zipix going to be engaging with Bondic on this A side. He's done a lot of damage. He's actually tagged down low. Bomb's back in T-spawn. They've got to go pick that up, and when they do, it looks like they're going to be making their way over towards A. Glaze making some presence up towards short, but I imagine we're going to see him duck in through the ladder room to try and collapse into jungle with Device to deal with Angel, who's holding this close angle, waiting for the connector play. And as Stico falls over in Palace, this A site looks that much more tempting and delicious.
It's true, it's looking like a juicy site they can try and sink their teeth into, but Kirby and co. Start to reposition, start to back off at this point. Dead Fox, he's up close and personal towards that B bomb site. Most likely we'll try and go for a little bit of a later round information play. Should be aware that they are more so situated purely towards that A site. This would allow him to get the rest of the unit to rotate back and help out that A bomb site. But Device will find the frag back on towards Angel now. And this is their domain at this point. They have completely taken control. They have claimed it for the country of HellRaisers. And they'll be sticking that flag down.
Yeah, Dead Fox, Zero, and Bondic all looking to try and hold on to their guns. As a result, they would be able to buy up into the next round. So it's going to be worth its weight in gold if they can keep all 3 players alive. Even losing 1 rifle here is going to be detrimental. But it will be a 10-13 scoreline. Astralis trying to close the gap slowly but surely. They're looking to just keep everyone alive, not going to go hunting. In spite of the fact they would basically force HellRaisers into a very awkward scenario with their economy, it's not really worth it at this point. Astralis have the chance to start to build up some cash. They don't want to be throwing away weapons unnecessarily, especially because there's still 3 rounds between them and HR. They need all the money they can get to keep that economic buffer up. And they're just going to play things safe. So 10-13 secured. Now the thing I want to say is Dead Fox, a couple of rounds ago, he actually doubled his scoreline by getting that 1 4K. Since then, you know, he's only got 1 frag, and that was in that round just then. So they're still warming up to things, but I think we're seeing HellRaisers essentially in a 4-on-5 right now, and it's already with them in the lead. So if he can actually start to reawaken a little bit on the CT side with the AWP, then we could definitely see them run away with this. But a lot of it's riding on him right now.
Into this round, though. Angel actually going for what could be a very effective play. He works his way through underpass. He's going to hear the pitter-patter of the footsteps of the T's that are starting to back off. surely he should know that all of outside B is now clear, and they're situated purely towards mid and that A bomb site, which will mean this is going to be a late round A take. Bondik also gets himself into a bit more of a prime time angle, will push himself up. Look at this, Angel realizes by the T-Star as well. He's got complete clear vision on towards Glaive. He can take him down. That's the bomb dropped. It just depends if he stays alive now, as there are 2 Ts close by. Make that free as they all converge together.
Oh, but he takes the peek on a Dupree. Down he goes, and Angel, he's more than a thought in their sides. He's a whole rose at this point, but Kirby, able to trade things out, does deal with him. It's still a 2-for-1 trade, still very much to the favor of HellRaisers. Dead Fox is here with Stico to reinforce as they lock this down. Dead Fox take the peek, finds the first, finds the second as well. And that's a 14-10 scoreline secured at this point as well. They're starting to chip away at that economy at Astralis. Thankfully, they didn't go hunting that previous round, so they do have money to invest into this. And that's why it was so crucial they kept 4 players alive for this exact scenario. But still, I mean, losing this would I think, essentially secure HR the victory. So they have to win this round. This is pivotal. The gravity in this scenario is insurmountable, and Dead Fox locking down mid as Astralis. Don't peek into him just yet. They're going to be sending 4 players over towards B.
It's very true indeed. I mean, at this point, if they are able to get themselves on match point, it's going to be so hard for Astralis to really rebound and deny them from closing out the game. Dupree will kick it off, though. Takes the head clean off of Zero's shoulders. Angel is there attempting to retaliate, but can't quite do too much, as the Vice will keep this damage up and coming. Rips his way through. Glaive as well, number 1 on towards Psycho. It's just Dead Fox and Bondik left. They might as well just save at this point, as this round is way too far gone.
Yeah, we might see Glaive go a little bit aggressive. He only invested the Tech 9 and armor into this anyway. The M4 was picked up over towards Connector when he found the earlier frag, so that was thanks to Stico. Now he's going to be continuing to push it on towards A. Spots the first, but Bondik does remove his head. Looking like they're going to be hold on to the weapons for the time being, but Device is going to be hot on their heels. You've also got to worry about Kirby and T-Spawn. They're being converged onto. They've got to watch these angles. They've got to check everything, because everyone from Astralis has gone hunting. And Dead Fox, well, he does deal with Kirby, but now they know where he is. Bondik will go down, but they keep the AWP up at least. There's a bit of a silver lining. 3 rounds of difference between these 2 teams right now. Astralis not ready to go down without a fight. And HellRaisers, well, they don't have a lot of money to play around with.
Yeah, pretty broke across the board. I mean, you can see Dead Fox with a little bit of cash to spare there, but he wants to hold on to that, so if things do go south, he can actually get an AWP out once again into the successor after this round. Let's wait and see how this one will boil down. Then it all kind of relies quite heavily on him to do all of the work just with that AWP. A stack play. They're all going to peek short together, it seems, at this point, as they boost themselves up, get him into the elevated angle with the AWP. They'll try and peek and draw out the gunfire, and he'll find the kills. Let's see if they can actually catch him off guard here, if this is going to work out. If they can make a couple of frags towards mid, they might be able to scavenge some weapons as well. It could be an effective play. He drops off, though. Angel going to peek on his lonesome. Does spot out a couple of players. A little bit awkward as he backs off into his own teammate. No real confrontation just yet.
Dead Fox with a quick flick in through the smoke. Down goes Device, but the trade is there, courtesy of Glaive. Back number 4 on 4, but quickly you can see that Zero's trying to secure the AWP. Does pick it up. Rounded the corner. Glaive finds himself a second, just padding those stats with the eco frags best he can. In towards the B site they go. Bomb in tow. Bomb's going to go down. The AWP's in winner, but they want to try and get it. Just Bondik and Stico not really in the best spot to try and make that happen. Looks like Astralis going to be picking up a 12th, though. Plenty of damage done. And they actually find all the frags necessary, so no more damage can be done by HR into this one. They will have enough money to buy down. The AWP can be up on Dead Fox as well. But still, I mean, even if they win this, they're not going to break the economy of Astralis, and that's kind of the thing you've got to look at, right? I mean, they've done a great job to get their economy to this scenario, in spite of how close it was. To be in a state whereby even if they lose, they're still going to buy, that's all good. It does put them in a great spot.
Molotov's going out early as they try and do some damage here. Dead Fox, he's going to drop down. Scope in and see what we can actually find towards mid. No one is really going to be there. You can see Bondik doing damage here. You find that opening frag back on towards Dupree. There's Bondik keeping up this level of aggression. Finds another frag also on towards Kirby. Zipnix as well. Easy kills going his way. Leaves them in this 3 versus 3 situation here. But how much better can it actually go? Glaive can still work on towards Zero. Dead Fox is close by. They're almost touching at this point as he just needs to push his way through the smoke. Angel hoping to stay alive as he pushes his way on towards the bomb site. Peeks on his lonesome. Unfortunately couldn't do anything Dead Fox is still zoned out. They had so many smokes to play with. He's been completely forced out of the round. So awkward there, unfortunate for him, just purely on the amount of utility they had.
That's Astralis now at 13. They're going to have a lot of money to play around it. It's HR now whose money isn't looking great. We should see the equalizer come in to take them to 14-14. And I mean, we couldn't have asked for anything closer than this. We thought the first half of the first game was kind of a good representation, but this one is even better. Overtime still very much a possibility as well, and on the cards. I mean, with how Astralis are playing, HellRaisers have really struggled to put anything substantial in their way. It looks like they've had a bit of an awakening over on their T side, and in spite of a very rocky start, they've been chaining together rounds now and just remaining resilient in spite of some very, very good plays on the back of HellRaisers.
Pause does come in, though. You imagine this will be a tactical for one of the sides to try and work out what exactly has gone wrong, try and sort things out and actually close things down. It's going to be HellRaisers' tactical pause, interestingly enough. So, makes kind of sense. They don't have too much money to play with. Once again, it's just Dead Fox that saved and was able to have the AWP in his back pocket. The rest of them pretty broken. So looking awkward right now, and obviously this is the thing as well. Astralis should equalize the scoreline at 14-14 off the back of this round because they can't invest into it. And that's where things have to get real as well, because they don't really have too much of a buffer left. I mean, that's sort of 4 rounds before the end of the game at that point.
Yeah, really they need Dead Fox now to do damage to the economy of Astralis, to try and chip away at it, right? Because otherwise, when they lose this, you know, if they, or when they, I mean, if they lose, you know, heading into the next couple, if they lose what would be the map point to Astralis and they go 15-14, there's going to be so much money on the side of Astralis, there's no worries. Alternatively, even if HellRaisers win, there's still going to be plenty of cash for them to invest, so buying won't be an issue. The real thing is, HR, if it goes 14-14 and then they can pick a round up to carry them to map point, you don't want to have Astralis in a scenario where they can fall by anyway. You want to make it so it's a desperation attempt. They're strapped for cash. That's the best possible scenario for HR. And Dead Fox with the AWP could be the guy to be exactly that, but you know, he's been missing a couple of shots. Hasn't really lived up to what we were saying our expectations were of him. It's
been better on that CT half. Yeah. Definitely a lot superior than what we saw actually going out on his T half that was lackluster, to say the least. I mean, there wasn't many frags at all. CT, though, it could still be a lot better. I mean, it's not really up to his normal self from what we've seen there. And it's kind of awkward as well, because sure, he's saving that AWP and he's keeping it with him throughout all of these rounds, but what's the point at this point if you can't actually do anything with it? It's very awkward, obviously. Into this one as well, they have to rely so heavily on him, and there's not too much he can achieve. I mean, maybe if they go back for another A push, if we see him with more of aggressive play. Device is back on the AWP into this round once again. Not too sure where his actual spawn was, I didn't really see, so it's going to be hard to call what they're actually going to go for. But maybe Dead Fox pulls it out of the bag. Most likely situation, we're looking at a 14-14 scoreline where HellRaisers have fairly broken economy. So this is going to be Astralis getting themselves very close to that match point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think coming back from what was looking like HR could have just almost walked away with it towards the end, a couple of just key rounds coming out from Astralis mean that they're now kind of back in a very prominent position and knocking on the door of HR just to steal this match point out from underneath them. But, you know, heading into this, as the tank pulses are kind of underway, what do you think they're thinking about? Obviously, they're not going to be paying too much attention to this round here. You're relying a lot on Dead Fox. You can't really say, oh, yeah, just carry the hell out of us. So, you know, what would be your kind of point that they need to improve on? Where do you think it's been weak for HR?
I think it's just all over the board. I mean, they've kind of been in an awkward situation in their economy. They've been winning rounds and they've actually had good economy. But, yeah, I mean, minor improvements across the board, obviously, for Dead Fox as well. We need to see him step up into this one. But anyway, let's jump back into it, see what is going to go down. Early nade comes out for Angel. Roams its way up towards top mid, but no splash damage, unfortunately. No one is going to take a bit of a hit into the early round. Device as well. He's peering up towards that A bomb site, but it looks like he's going to get pushed. He will find the first kill on towards Bonding. Ignites some flames behind him. That's some style points there as he finds the kill on towards Styko as well. Dupree also taking down Dead Fox. 0 hits the deck. And okay, it looks like it will be that 14-14 round secured.
Yeah, Angel does get one as a pine gift onto Zipix, but it's going to be 14-14 like you say, all tied up. Money will be sustaining a fairly decent buy for HR at least. They can get the AWP on Dead Fox. He won't have any armor behind it though. A little bit strapped for utility as well. They've got everything they would pretty much need. Nothing in comparison to Astralis, who are kind of leaps and bounds ahead in terms of what they have got on their utility belts. Just a little bit extra to help break into sights and then hold it down. And well, looks like B's going to be the order of the day. 4 players over towards here with Glaive to peek out in over towards middle. This is a change in pace, something we haven't really seen them do. Make their way towards this B bomb site. Now, Deadfox is posted up here, but he's going to be tagged down already on the back of that initial peek. Now falling on back, push going to be underway, and a lot of pressure here on Zero to hold this down. Deadfox watching the angle. They weren't able to deal with him on that initial AWP shot, so he can potentially just rain death from afar. The rotate's already well and truly underway. Deadfox going to go down. Zero going to do work, and he's doing just that. Going to get 2. Still alive and kicking. Finally going to be dealt with by Zipex. Bondik and Angel rotating around. He bought plenty of time, but they're still far away. Bondik in shop. Angel making his way up through short. They have got a crossfire set up, but with Device and Apps, it's such a strong position to shut down the push out through shops. It's going to be tricky. Bondik pushing on in. Pop flash comes out from Kirby, but it does miss its mark. And as a result, he's got a nice bit of freedom here out through the doors in towards the site. Finds that first frag. Kirby going to go down. Zipex can't trade things out. Still on the site, trying to just play around the pillars. Spots out Bondik. Device finds Angel. It's all on the man himself. He's going to get 2. He's got to get 3 to try and win this out. But with where Device is, it's so incredibly strong. And through the wall, down he goes. Astralis, they arrive at match point.
This is the thing as well. You can imagine they're going to propel themselves forward and actually close this out of a 16-14 scoreline now. The whole hog the full 30 rounds because HellRaisers have nothing really to work with. It's going to be such an awkward investment for them. They have to basically cast away so much utility here to get this buyout. 2 Phalluses in play, 2 rifles, and just the 1 measly UMP over on the side of Styko. That's 1 kit they have across 5 members as well. One of them's already dead, so make that just 4 members alive at this point. As Kirby completely rips to shreds Angel as he peeks out towards mid very early into this round. Not the best start to what could be the penultimate round here.
Yeah, since they've rotated Deadfox and Zero interconnected to try and hold this back. Bondik's in CT, 3 players over towards this A site with a solo play. Over on B, Bondik going to go down in CT, and he's been someone who is great at just being the anchor over towards A. Losing him going to be a very, very tough start here for HellRaisers. They're already 2 men down. They've done good damage out in Zipex. Now they're going to be trying to fall on back. Deadfox does get 1, but that's going to be it. A 3-on-4. The bomb does manage to just worm its way out through ramp. Now looking to make its way over towards B as Kirby's already gained all the ground they need, all the info they could possibly want. Zero does spot him though, and it doesn't matter as he loses his head. And now it's just Deadfox and Seager to try and clutch this out. Damage being done to Deadfox. Kirby's tagged down low. Deadfox only has to land 1 measly shot, but his teammates close behind, and it doesn't matter because Kirby's a headshot machine apparently. 3 frags for him as he gets the hat-trick, looking for a 4th as it's all on Styko.
Last man alive for the CTs. Let's see what he can achieve. Absolutely nothing. Device will be the one to play the final blow there. They are going to fall. And there you have it. HellRaisers, unfortunately, not able to do too much today. They do lose out both of their matchups against Astralis. It was a close affair, though, at the very least this time around. The full 30 rounds have been played out better than Overpass, but still just not good enough. Yeah,
and I think looking at it, their T side does just kind of need a little bit of work. Overpass wasn't really that great for them. Heading into Mirage, things looked very... Deadfox especially was just terrible on that T side. Yeah. He got 4 frags in the whole 15-round half, so contributed very little. He relied a lot on the rest of the team to try and raise him up, and even on the CT side, he did do a hell of a lot better. He actually made a scoreline, comparable to everyone else on his team, and actually had a very nice turnaround, but it could have been an entirely different game had he turned up earlier on. On the back of this, though, Astralis winning 2 means that they can potentially now be placed above Na'Vi, all depending on the round difference, which I'm sure we can take a look at later on. But yeah, I mean, they've at least secured themselves 2nd, which is an interesting little tidbit of information.
Yeah, of how actually the standings have been affected today off the back of these games. Interesting to see how they've boiled down. As obviously, we did see 2 of the teams that currently were at that 2nd and 3rd spot at the beginning of the day. Obviously, Na'Vi and Astralis. It's going to be interesting to see if they have been able to overpower North as we come back in off these replays. Now, we did see some great moments from either side. It was just...
Yeah.
It seemed like it took a little bit too long for HellRaisers to actually get themselves riled up again. Their CT half was... their T half, actually, seemed like it just didn't have enough oomph to it. It was very slow, very stagnant, and it just sort of didn't really work out too well. Deadfox didn't have the best performance at all on their T half, and it just took too long to really get going, I think.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue. You could tell like fatigue was almost taking part a little bit in it. Deadfox, he started to warm up, but at that point the rest of the teammates had cooled down, if anything. So by the time he starts stepping up, everyone else is kind of starting to fall off anyway. And it just kind of negates the fact that he's now actually on the board and competing in this. Meanwhile, Device was firing on all cylinders. He was doing some phenomenal work with the AWP. I think Debris had some really strong moments as well. I'm still going to speak about that one, in round 7 where they kind of win out the 5-on-3 that never should have been, and that was what kick-started their amazing CT side half. So that was a lot when you think about it, and I do just feel like Astralis, they played the better CS at the end of the day. HR, a really good performance on Mirage still, but their T side did need work.
It's true. I mean, that would have been the difference maker as well. If they would have actually got a couple more rounds on the board on their T half. I mean, nevertheless, let's not forget, it was still an 8-7 half towards Astralis. It might have been a very shaky T half, but it wasn't the worst by far. That's the thing. It could have been better, though. If they would have maybe taken the lead there, come in, I mean, at the very least, they would have achieved match point first. If they actually got that 8-7 half, we're looking at them potentially being match point. It could have been a completely different scoreline. And there was loads of rounds they could have actually secured on the T half that slipped through just by weird mistakes here and there.
Exactly.
So, always time for them to revise that and come back in. But nevertheless, I mean, let's not forget how this matchup has gone. I mean, going 16-14 up against the current best team.
The current best team in the
CS.
world.
I mean, that's a pretty good feat for them, considering they are kind of the underdogs working their way back through. So let's have a look at those standings, though, and see just how this has affected things throughout the day. So Na'Vi has actually secured that #1 spot. They've slipped their way in, moving up from number 3. Astralis now in as the number 2. North actually dropped all the way down to 4 as well, coming on. I mean, they were originally the top seed actually throughout this. Mouse Sports also sitting at that 3rd place. HellRaisers, though, that's now moved up to 5th. I mean, that's pretty good how that's actually affected overall the top spot of that standings. That's a huge shake-up in terms of things.
Yeah, HellRaisers luckily just kind of remain stagnant. They haven't changed. They haven't gone up or down. They're just staying firmly where they are, which is fine. They could still have a couple of games to kind of pick them up and perhaps enter the upper echelons. Nicely, they haven't moved down. That would kind of be a bit upsetting, I feel, after how strong we've seen them look. But very interested to see this Na'Vi, Astralis, and Mao's top 3 as it kind of develops. I mean, Mao's just being there to me is a spectacle in and of itself.
Especially, this is Mao's since the departure of Nico.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how well they've actually been playing. Very, very interesting sort of dynamic that has occurred.
Maybe Nico was the problem.
It's true, maybe. I mean, FaZe not doing too great, actually, throughout Pro League so far. Sitting 8-8, left at that 6th spot. Still, in a pretty good situation as they just rest themselves there. They're just parked up, just waiting for the following.
We didn't give any love to Kingwin, who we did see that they are still bottom. That's still the same.
It's not the best.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're struggling a little bit. It was a shame because after yesterday, I was hoping we were going to see them, come back into this in their stride. But facing Na'Vi, the now current top, maybe not the best judge for them. Maybe if we put them up against, I don't know, like G2. Something like that. Maybe then it's more manageable. Who knows?
Someone make it a little bit more easy for them. Little stepping stones to try and make their way through.
You got to run. You got to walk before you can run.
It's true.
Yeah, there you go.
It's true. I mean, we've tried to put them on a bike. They've cycled into a lake. It's not ended well.
No,
that's where they're going to stay. We'll leave them in the lake. But guys, everyone at home, I mean, that is going to be the end of the show for the day. Unfortunately, it's all wrapped up. We're done and dusted. There has been some amazing results going on, and you might be thinking, I've only just tuned in. I've missed it all. Head on over to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Everything is going to be there on demand whenever you want it. Watch the VODs. You can see us. I mean, we're here whenever you want us to be at that point. We could be in your living room right now. Not really, but we are if you need us to. But watch it there. Don't forget to ring the bell as well so you stay up to date with everything. But that is going to be the show for today. From me, from Harry, we'll see you tomorrow.